I am William Kumwembe with Business Time here on Times Television, courtesy of Sky Band. It is a magazine program where we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines. And in the program today, Malawi still ranks poorly on corruption index. We find out why. And public debt rise worries industry players. We have these and other stories. Stay tuned if you could.
Now you can access the Daily Times, Malawi News, and the Sunday Times newspapers anytime, anywhere, by the click of a mouse or a swipe on your smartphone. With eTimes, right on your mobile gadget. Flip through the pages with a swipe or a click. Navigate through all pages and see clear pictures and designs. Access a database of previous papers of the Daily Times, Malawi News, and the Sunday Times. Easy. Subscribe now to eTimes. Go to www.times.mw/e-edition. Sign up and log in. Enter your password and enjoy the newspaper. It's about time.
Hello and welcome. It is now 7 years since Malawi was rocked by its biggest government corruption scandal in history, the Cashgate. Corruption has been rife in the country, but the Cashgate scam saw development partners freezing direct budget support. Image of the country was dented, and over the years, Malawi has been ranked poorly on the corruption index. Malawi is the 120th least corrupt nation from about 175 countries, according to the 2018 Corruption Perception Index reported by the Transparent International. It has, of course, moved 2 steps from 122 in 2017. Despite the move, Malawi is still among the least on the list. Our journalist, Chimwemwe Mangazi, witnessed the unveiling of the Corruption Perception Index report in Lilongwe, from where he engaged stakeholders on a possible lasting remedy to the problem.
The index shows that Malawi remains in the zone of most corrupt countries despite the move having scored 32 out of 100, where 0 is the most corrupt and 100 is clean. The index ranks countries by their perceived levels of public sector corruption based on expert assessment, business people and opinion surveys. Malawi shares position 120 with Mali, Liberia and Ukraine. During the launch of the findings by the integrated platform in Lilongwe, stakeholders agreed that there is need for coordinated efforts in the fight against corruption if Malawi was to register significant improvement in fighting corruption. National coordinator of the integrated platform, Jeff Kabondo, added that if Malawi was to improve on the ratings on the index, it would be easy for the country to be more competitive and attractive in wooing investors that would in turn help grow the economy.
Any investor, before they make an investment in a country, they would want to do a bit of risk assessment. So a country that is perceived to be corrupt, or whose public sector is perceived to be corrupt, cannot be one of those that one would just jump in and make an investment. There are other relationships that a country may have with other development partners. Those development partners would only be more interested to partner with a country that has got a clean record of corruption. So yes, the CPI is important because it gives that overview in terms of risk management, what should be looked into before a country or before a company can make an investment or can look at its interests. As they make that decision, they need to look at the CPI maybe as a point of reference. So it is a very important tool as it helps in countries or other development partners to make decisions on how they go about investing in a country or making a partnership with a country. We need to look at the performance of our democratic institutions. You talk about the judiciary, how expedient the judiciary is in prosecuting corruption or corrupt officials. The performance of institutions like the ACB, how are they doing in terms of preventing and even prosecuting corruption. and many others. There are oversight institutions, maybe like the National Audit Office. I think these also need to perform well in order that we are able to pick or to expose areas that might be related to corruption. So we need to do a lot to improve the performance of our democratic institutions, much as we also can target other sectors like the private sector.
Public Relations Manager of the Anti-Corruption Bureau, Egrita Ndala, said that despite an improvement in the score, there is need for all stakeholders to hold hands for the perception to improve significantly.
The position to us as a country should not excite us too much. What we need to be excited with would be the rating, because if you see the rating, for the past maybe 3-4 years, we had been on 31, which was like stagnating. But this year, we've moved a point higher, which is we're getting like a point better. That's what we need to commend Malawians for. That together with the ACB, we are working towards changing some of the issues about the perception. Because when you look at perceptions, it's not always the fact that maybe that's what is on the ground. Sometimes it's because of the way people feel about certain things. Because maybe the people do look at the bureau and say it's the role of the bureau. But when we start embracing the fight against corruption as a country, all stakeholders.
Denmark and New Zealand top the index with 88 and 87 points, respectively, while Somalia, South Sudan, and Syria are at the bottom of the index with 10, 13, and 13 points, respectively. From Lilongwe, I am Chimomo Mangazi.
The Malawi Confederation of Chambers of Commerce and Industry, MCCCI, have expressed worry over the continued growing level of public debt in the country. Total public debt stock has been on the rise since 2017 first quarter and reached the highest during the third quarter of 2018 at about 3.09 trillion kwacha. Of the amount, 49.6% was external debt and the rest was domestic debt stock. We have the detail in this report read in our studios by Sharon Chirwa.
In its 2018 fourth quarter economic review issued on Friday, MCCCI says the increase in government borrowing from the domestic market is likely going to push the interest rates upwards. The chamber says the situation could therefore crowd out private sector investment. MCCCI attributes this to the increased cost of borrowing, a development that will stagnate private sector investment and growth and that of the economy as a whole. According to the report, with the forthcoming tripartite elections, this rising trend is expected to continue in 2019 with the likelihood of an increase in unplanned government expenditures. As a share of the gross domestic product (GDP), total public debt stock was estimated at 57.3% in 2018. External and domestic public debts were estimated at 31.2% and 26.1% of GDP respectively. During the year 2018, domestic debt continued to rise and reached 1.5 trillion kwacha at the end of the third quarter from 1.4 trillion kwacha registered the previous quarter. Other commentators recently rated the trends as unsustainable for the Malawi economy. The International Monetary Fund (IMF) warned that the country is at risk of a debt distress if no swift action is taken to reverse the situation. IMF resident representative Jack Ree said in a recent interview that the public debt has increased rapidly since the country got a debt relief in 2006. When presenting the 2018-2019 national budget in Parliament, Finance Minister Guru Gondwe said Capitol Hill does not have an appetite for domestic borrowing. Gondwe said the assertion about the appetite for domestic borrowing overlooks the fact the government's domestic borrowing has steeply declined.
The Monetary Policy Committee of the Reserve Bank of Malawi started meeting in Blantyre on Tuesday to review key macroeconomic indicators. The Indigenous Business Association of Malawi, IBAM, has since expressed hope that the authorities would consider slashing the policy rate, currently at 16%. The policy rate has been stable for 13 months since it was reduced in December 2017. Daonga Sabola paints a picture of the industry's expectation from the 2019's first MPC meeting in this report.
IBAM President Mike Mlombwa said Malawi's policy rate has remained high as compared to other countries in the region. Mlombwa said that was the reason why IBAM and other lobby groups pushed for an interest rate capping bill last year. He, however, said, listening to sentiments from the Central Bank and Capitol Hill, chances are high that the authorities would reduce the policy rate. Currently, Malawi's base lending rates by banks hover around 23.5%. This means that borrowers pay about 30% in interest on loans when risks are factored into the loan. Catholic University Dean of Social Sciences Gilbert Kajamba concurred with Mlombwa that chances are high that the policy rate would be slashed. Kajamba said the country has been experiencing stable macroeconomic conditions of late, such as a stable kwacha as well as relatively stable inflation. Economics Association of Malawi Executive Director Maleka Tula said looking at performance of key macroeconomic indicators, Malawi has performed relatively well. Tula, however, said being a lean season, food inflation is expected to continue rising and expenditure from both private as well as public sectors are expected to rise with the impending elections. He said economic prospects remain benign, thus chances of revising the policy rate remain minimal. The Monetary Policy Committee is expected to announce its decision on Wednesday afternoon. From Blantyre, this is Daonga Sabola.
Remember, this is Business Time right here on Times Television with me, William Kumwembe. It is a magazine program where we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines, courtesy of Skyban. We'll be right back.
Now you can access the Daily Times, Malawi News, and the Sunday Times newspapers anytime, anywhere, by the click of a mouse or a swipe on your smartphone. With eTimes, right on your mobile gadget. Flip through the pages with a swipe or a click. Navigate through all pages and see clear pictures and designs. Access a database of previous papers of the Daily Times, Malawi News, and the Sunday Times. Easy. Subscribe now to eTimes. Go to www.times.mw/e-edition. Sign up and log in. Enter your password and enjoy the newspaper. It's about time.
Welcome back. Nicolife Insurance on Tuesday awarded outstanding sales staff for their contribution. Nicolife General Manager Eric Jabora said the company closed 2018 on a positive note owing to staff commitment and dedication. We have the detail in this report.
Some of Nicolife Insurance Company's sales consultants gathered here at the firm's headquarters in Blantyre. The company is rewarding outstanding members of the sales staff. Nicolife General Manager is Eric Chapola.
Ceremony for agents is an important function in the year because this is a forum at which we reward agents that have performed very well when we compare them with their friends in the same categories. So today we gather them again and awarded in different categories. There are categories for those that have sold the most policies, those that have achieved the highest premiums, and also those that have sold most of our newly introduced Dirinano product in the year. And then we had the overall agent of the year. I think you need to appreciate that selling insurance products is not easy. In insurance, you sell a promise. It's different from somebody who goes to sell, for example, a tangible object, a loaf of bread, for example. If you buy bread, you take it and you eat it, you have satisfaction. When you buy an insurance product, you buy a promise and you get satisfaction when a defined event happens. So to sell a promise is not easy. So that's why we take this initiative to award them and thank them for their achievement in the year. In terms of interest and drive to buy these policies, as Malawians, we have a lot to do. We see that a lot of people still do not recognize the benefits of insurance, and we are in a drive as Nicolife, even the Reserve Bank, are also doing the financial inclusion drive to make sure that people now understand financial inclusion, understand insurance and its benefits, and it is our duty as Nickel Life to educate people and also bring products that people will see value in.
Andrew Dalu got the Best Sales Consultant Award. He says he is highly motivated.
It's very exciting to receive the awards. In fact, there are so many consultants in Malawi for Nickel Life Insurance, over 200 or over. So to be one of the awardees and to be the best sales consultant for the year is not easy. In fact, there's none of the secrets other than if you are hardworking, sacrifice your time and money, and apart from that, you must be a man of integrity. So integrity is one of them.
Nickel Life is a subsidiary of Nickel Holdings Limited.
And one of the country's solar solution providers, Zua Energy Company, on Friday presented a 300,000 kwacha check to Ison Malwa, who emerged over a winner of the company's Ayaka promotion. Zua Energy Business Development Manager Devi Mkandawire said the company is happy to have delivered its promise made at the start of the promotion. He explains in this interview.
As a company, towards the end of last year, that's 2018, we thought of a way of giving back to our customers. So what we did was we organized a promotion which we called Ayaka promotion, and in that promotion what we said was each customer, so there was a period with which we said if a customer buys a product from us, that's any product that Zua is selling, between 10th of December to 10th of January, that customer will win an instant prize of a t-shirt, a Zua branded t-shirt, and an umbrella, a Zua branded umbrella. And in the end, what we'll do is we'll now conduct a raffle draw, which will see one of the customers going away with 300,000, something that we've seen today. The Ayaka promotion, we received at least a good number of clients. As I said, that the product prices are a bit higher, looking at the target market that we have. So we indeed realized that customers gave us a good response. By at least we managed to sell about 50 products throughout the product, throughout the whole of the promotion. So to us, it's like it was a big response. We are very happy, and we are very, very happy today, especially to honor the promise that we made to say if you enter the promotion, you're going to get a 300,000. And through that raffle draw, Mr. Malwa emerged a winner, and here we are today presenting the cash prize to him. So currently we are offering Kwacha 4. It's a system, it's a product or a package that comes in with 4 bulbs, a battery, a 10-watt panel, and all the wiring cables. And then there's Kwacha 6, which comes in with 6 bulbs, a battery, a 10-watt panel, and all the wiring cables. Then there's Macheza 24 TV, which comes in with a plasma TV, that's a 24-inch, 4 bulbs, a battery, and a bigger panel, a size of 55-watt panel. As Zua Energy, we are selling our products on cash and as well as on pay as you go. So what happens in if a customer has got the cash price, they are going to give us the money, we give them. But now, looking at our target market, said no, they are mostly want to sell our products to the rural people who might be finding money little by little. So what we did, no, let us not leave these people away. We want them to be also enjoying our products. So we said, all right, we'll put our systems on pay as we go, which entails that a customer will give us 20% deposit of the cash price. Say Kwacha 4 goes out at 150,000. On our pay as you go, it's 178,600. Now a customer would give us a deposit of 20%. That would give you roughly 36,000. So once the customer has given us the 36,000, they'll correct right away. They start using the system. Then monthly, we'll give them a calculation to say, if you're going to be giving us 7.9 in a month, a period split to 18 months, you should be able to own the system right away. So the customers are able to pay back in 18 months.
And speaking after receiving the check, Malwa hailed Zua Energy for fulfilling its promise.
I'm very happy indeed just because I'm one of the winners. But in the meantime, when I bought this solar, I didn't know that I'm in the promotion. But if lucky enough, as I was being called, that I'm one of the winners. And at first, I was not fully prepared that I'm one of the winners, just because there is a lot of messages and a lot of calls. Just people are just calling you or telling you that you have won A, B, C, D, so that you just send the money. So I thought that it was fake. But as of now, after communication, everything is okay, and I'm very happy indeed, just because I'm one of the winners. The solar itself is helping the general family in terms of charging my phones, and in fact, the light itself is taking out. There's some sort of protection out in my area, just because being a pastor, I'm also taming animals. So being the taming animals, and the intruders, the thieves, can come anytime. But whenever there is a light, the thieves is safe. They're failing to reach my home or my place. These are very reliable indeed. At the meantime, when the sun is setting or is rising, my solar is starting charging, or in the other way around, getting energy. So as the night comes, I just switch on my switches and then light everywhere. So this indeed is helping me. And even my neighbors also, they are being they assist whenever there is a light. My neighbors, in fact, they're also getting safe. And a lot of people are coming to my place for charging their phones.
And as we proceed with the program, let us now have a look at how the Malawi kwacha is faring against major trading currencies on the foreign exchange market. Now, in news from elsewhere, the United States has imposed sanctions on Venezuela's state-owned oil company in an increased effort to pressure Maduro to relinquish power to one, now recognized by the U.S. and a number of other nations as the country's legitimate president. We have the detail in this VOA report.
Amid the political crisis in Venezuela, with tens of thousands calling on Nicolas Maduro to step down, the U.S. increased the pressure on him Monday by hitting his government's lifeline, its state-owned oil company.
We're going to announce sanctions against Petroleas de Venezuela, Sociedad Anima, or PDVSA, as it's known by its Spanish acronym, the state-owned oil monopoly. We have continued to expose the corruption of Maduro and his cronies, and today's action ensures they can no longer loot the assets of the Venezuelan people.
Bolton called on the Venezuelan military and security forces to accept the peaceful, democratic, and constitutional transfer of power to interim President Guaido. Appearing to feel the international pressure, Venezuela's Foreign Minister Jorge Arreaza made an offer to the U.S. earlier Monday.
Remember that Commander Hugo Chavez said, and President Maduro confirmed thousands of times, if it's necessary to meet with President Trump, or if it's necessary to meet with the devil to have relations of peace and respect between our countries, we would do that. But I'm not saying that Trump is the devil.
Analysts say the oil sanctions may deliver a devastating blow to Maduro.
This is the nuclear option. I mean, this is sort of the most powerful weapon the U.S. has, short of military force, at its disposal.
The U.S. has been reluctant to impose oil sanctions because the two countries have been interdependent on Venezuela's crude oil for decades. Cindy Sain, VOA News, the State Department.
Well, with that story, we've also come to the end of today's edition of the program Business Time right here on Times Television. It is a magazine program where we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines. On behalf of the entire production team, my name is William Kumwembe. But always remember, if it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense. Bye for now.
Now you can access the Daily Times, Malawi News, and the Sunday Times newspapers anytime, anywhere, by the click of a mouse or a swipe on your smartphone with eTimes right on your mobile gadget. Flip through the pages with a swipe or a click. Navigate through all pages and see clear pictures and designs. Access a database of previous papers of the Daily Times, Malawi News, and the Sunday Times. Easy. Subscribe now to eTimes. Go to www.times.mw/e-edition. Sign up and log in. Enter your password and enjoy the newspaper. It's about